Last but not the least, the cost structure or the cost of running the business. I mean, the traditional ones are the fixed cost and variable cost. And again, it will apply to, different types of business more so than others. Unit production cost, if you're in manufacturing, that's very critical. For each additional unit you produce, how much it is incrementally going to cost me, beyond a certain scale, right? Once you have some level of economies of scale, what is going to be that unit production cost? In a sort of companies which are more involved in shared economy, right? What's the customer acquisition cost? That is actually one of the key metrics, in a lot of these companies. What are the most important costs among the costs that you have? What are the most expensive assets or activities that you perform, right? For example, for an airline, the airplane is the most expensive asset. Probably the number 2 is the pilot. Now, and that's why the matrix that is used by airlines is the number of passenger miles flown, right? Because the airplane has to be in the air, not standing at the gate, because the bunch of your crew is inefficient to get that plane off the ground, and then the airplane needs to be full, right? So again, you have to look at what are your most expensive assets, and how you factor that in from a utilization perspective. Can you leverage cost arbitrage? And again, in manufacturing, people would look for other places, whether it's within US, even in Mexico, or sometimes in APAC, to manufacture their products. In software, again, you could go to Austin, you could go to Denver, you could go to Chicago, or even the Research Triangle, and your cost is going to drop significantly, right? So can you leverage some cost arbitrage that may exist in the system, right? What's the customer acquisition cost versus lifetime value, right? Is your lifetime value higher? And maybe there are stages in the company, very early stage, your customer acquisition cost may be higher than lifetime value, maybe. But as you build more value and scale, is the customer acquisition cost going down and the lifetime value actually increasing? All of these things you need to think through before you start entering the cost structure. So I think, again, I wanted to make sure I give an overview and give you things you need to consider for each one of the box, as you use the business model canvas.